Good morning friends, you are most welcome to Think Eyes channel. Today we are going to discuss Practicing Anthropology by MAAN IGNOU, and our topic is disaster management, in which we are going to discuss diverse arenas of practicing anthropology. Let us begin the topic. Understanding disaster management. There has been a paradigm shift in the concept of disaster management, which has been incorporated in the Disaster Management Act enacted on December 23, 2005. Earlier, disaster management was restricted to post-disaster relief and rehabilitation, but it was later realized that a more proactive approach is needed for effective management of disaster, and for this purpose it is necessary that capacity building of the community should be the focus, where the emphasis is on vulnerability reduction and preparedness and mitigation before disaster. Hence, disaster management now has been divided into two phases: pre-disaster preparedness and mitigation, and the post-disaster relief, rehabilitation, and sustainable recovery phase. The idea of sustainable recovery is important to the idea of disaster management, since recovery should be such that it can bear the impact of future disasters. This approach of sustainable recovery is also related with the idea of sustainable development, where the development process is such designed which can withstand the impact of disaster. The Disaster Management Act 2005 defines it as more like a continuous and integrated process of planning, organizing, coordinating, and implementing measures which are necessary for: first, prevention of danger or threat of any disaster; second, mitigation or reduction of risk of any disaster; third, capacity building including research and knowledge management; fourth, preparedness to deal with any disaster; fifth, prompt response to any threatening disaster situation; sixth, assessing severity of effects of any disaster; seventh, evacuation, rescue and relief; eighth, rehabilitation and reconstruction. From the above definition, it is quite clear that disaster management is a continuous process wherein we plan, organize, coordinate, and implement the measures to reduce risk, increase our capability to fight with the emergency situation, prepare ourselves in such a way that even if disaster strikes, we are in a position to respond promptly, can assess the severity of effect, provide relief and recovery fast to normal condition. Policy makers and others in position of decision making have realized that only development cannot be the goal. Mindless construction of dams, roads, bridges, buildings, and other infrastructure cannot solve the purpose in the long run. What is needed is the idea of sustainable development. There can withstand the test of time and extreme conditions. The idea of disaster management can be diagrammatically represented as follows: prevention, preparedness, mitigation. Pre-disaster phase. Then we will face impact. After that, relief, response, rehabilitation, resettlement, reconstruction, post-disaster phase. The diagram reveals that the process of disaster management is a continuous process where the pre-disaster and post-disaster phases are continuous. This means that the rehabilitation and reconstruction will be such that it will promote prevention, preparedness, and mitigation of future disasters. And again, the preparedness will be such that it promotes quick response and better rehabilitation. The above mentioned framework of disaster management will guide our discussion on the role of anthropology in disaster management. In the next section and subsequent subsections, we will learn that how our training in anthropology will help in betterment of disaster management. Thank you very much.